All right, man. It did not take long for this one to happen. Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears have agreed to a deal. The deal is estimated to be around $13 million is what it's expected right now. They're still in the process of working out the terms of the length of the contract. It is fresh off the press pretty much at this point. But all right, man. So what do you guys think about this one? We were just talking about Ben Johnson last week, and is it time for him to move on if they don't make it? I was thinking he should have stuck around a little while longer, but I think this job makes a lot of sense for him, considering that the Bears just seemed like they needed somebody that knew how to run some offense in Chicago. So I think this is actually a really good move for him. I'm glad he took this position and not the Raiders position, because that was the big rumor. What they were talking about was possibly the Raiders. That was what he was linked to. That one really didn't make much sense to me to do, especially coming off of Detroit. All right, G. Mike, what's your thoughts on this, brother?
I think it was a good move for him. Definitely, he wanted to be in control of his own team. Even though he was in control of that offense in Detroit, but now he wants to be in control of a whole team. And you saw when he entered the facility today in Chicago, he looked like he really wanted to be there. His family were really happy to step into that facility. It looked like he was about to cry, really. But just as a business decision, I think it's good for him to go with the Bears instead of the Raiders, like he was looking at, because of the superstar rookie QB that they got in Caleb Williams. They got an amazing running back in this DeAndre Swift. They got a star-studded receiver in DJ Moore. Keenan Allen, a pro out there, a big-time pro veteran that can catch all the footballs in the world. And I think the offense is going to be good with Ben Johnson. I think this is going to be a lot of positivity towards the future. We still have to see what's good with the defense, but when it comes to the offensive side, I think they're going to be looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, G-Mike, you took the words right out of my mouth, man. Like that, honestly, it's such a good move for Ben Johnson. And, I think we're seeing a lot of guys that are head coaching candidates probably try to switch from, like if they're going to a team, especially if they're offensive minded, they really want to lean towards a team that's got a franchise QB set up. Like we said, LA, there's not really a lot out there. There's a few other places like, obviously Jacksonville is going to be a place for any other offensive coordinators to go to as well. Wink, wink, Liam Cohen, sweating bullets here with that one. But yeah, we're seeing kind of a trend where a lot of head coaches, they're going more towards younger teams that have kind of that franchise signal caller set up, or maybe a chance to, they can kind of leave their imprint on the offense. And it's great for him as well, because he can always just bring in, he's shown that he can call a game really well. He's always been more of that style of coach anyway, where he's going to be the play caller for one side of the ball, not really necessarily the walk around coach like we kind of see with Dan Campbell. But now I think really for Johnson, the thing is find a great defensive minded coach. If somehow maybe Robert Saleh slips through the cracks of, getting hired as head coach, he's probably going to be the best defensive coordinator option out there. For me, I would love to have him in Tampa, but if you're Ben Johnson, though, up in Chicago, he's going to be an amazing find for sure that can really help revamp that monster of the Midway defense.
Yeah, no, I didn't even think about Robert Saleh, but you're completely right. That would be a very interesting candidate to be a DC over there if they already haven't got cleaned house over there to begin with. Though I've always heard that Chicago seems like it's kind of a hard city to work with because of the ownership. They're very old school. They're still celebrating, the 85 Bears as if it's brand new, and so that's been a downfall for them for a little while. But I think with this new offensive regimen, they finally might have someone that can pass over 4,000 yards for the first time ever, which is absolutely insane that they've still never done that. I think it's 30 touchdowns. I don't think anybody's ever gotten as a Bears quarterback as well, which is just it's one of the oldest franchises in the league, and they still haven't been able to do that. Just crazy to me, but I think it's going to all change when Ben Johnson gets there. I think that Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson is going to make some really interesting moves. I like it a lot because we all alluded to it whenever we were talking about it in the preseason about we thought they had one of the best wide receiver cores in the league. And on top of it, too, there was stretches during the middle of the season that it looked like when they had the London game and a couple of other games where, okay, Caleb Williams got it. He started to figure it out, and then he just went back down, and it did not work at all. So he kind of just looked a little bit off, but that whole team was just off, man. The coaching staff was a mess. They should have never had who they had in charge of whatever the teams, and yeah, it just was not working out at all for them, man. But yeah, I totally agree. I think this is gonna be a great move. for the Chicago Bears in the city of Chicago, man.
Don't be surprised if that offense ends up being like top 10 next year. It would not surprise me with Ben Johnson calling plays. It's gonna be a scary team for sure.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man.